The Patriots thought they had solved Seattle's defense until one rookie kept appearing everywhere at once, blitzing from the edge, dropping into coverage, and delivering hits that drained confidence snap after snap. That rookie was Nick Emmanwori, and what he did in Super Bowl 60 wasn't just impressive, it was a blueprint for the future of modern defense. If you think this performance was just another solid game from a promising rookie, wait until you hear what Seattle's coaching staff actually asked him to do behind the scenes, because the truth about his dual role changes how we understand the Seahawks' entire championship run. Seattle entered the Super Bowl with questions swirling around whether their young defense could handle New England's disciplined offense. Analysts predicted long drives, quick passing concepts, and a relentless attack targeting Seattle's middle zones. Instead, the Patriots found themselves staring at a defense that shifted before every snap, disguising coverages and changing personnel responsibilities without ever substituting players. At the center of that chaos stood Emmanwori, moving like a chess piece that never stopped changing squares. From the opening series, the rookie sent a message. On the Patriots' first third down, he lined up in the slot, shadowed a tight end across the formation, then dropped deep at the snap, forcing a rushed throw that sailed incomplete. A few plays later, he crept toward the line of scrimmage, set the edge against a run attempt, shed a block, and wrapped up the ball carrier before momentum could build. The Patriots didn't score until the fourth quarter, and every stalled drive seemed to include a moment where Emmanwori disrupted the rhythm. By halftime, Seattle's defense had fully established dominance. New England's quarterback looked confused as safeties rotated late and linebackers shifted positions after the snap. What viewers at home didn't immediately realize was that the same player was responsible for multiple roles within a single drive. Emmanwori would line up deep one play, crash inside the next, then cover a receiver in space moments later. That versatility allowed Seattle to disguise their intentions without sacrificing physicality or speed. After the game, Emmanwori explained that the dual role wasn't something forced upon him overnight. He described how the coaching staff gradually expanded his responsibilities as they learned what he could handle mentally and physically. Early in the season, he was focused on mastering a primary safety role, but as weeks passed, the coaches began integrating packages that used him closer to the line and in coverage against dynamic skill players. By the time the playoffs arrived, the defense trusted him to execute assignments typically divided among multiple players. His path to this moment began long before the Super Bowl spotlight. At South Carolina, he developed a reputation as a fearless defender capable of impacting games in multiple ways. He earned early recognition for his athleticism and instincts, eventually becoming an All-American and drawing attention from scouts who valued hybrid defenders. When Seattle selected him in the second round, the plan was never to box him into a traditional position. Instead, they envisioned a defender who could evolve with the changing nature of NFL offenses. Throughout his rookie season, Emmanwori's growth became impossible to ignore. Appearing in every game, he recorded nearly 90 tackles, added sacks and an interception, and consistently flashed the versatility that would later define his Super Bowl performance. One of his breakout moments came in a Week 10 victory against Arizona, where he led the team in tackles, broke up multiple passes, and showed his ability to influence both the passing game and the run defense. That performance convinced the coaching staff that he was ready for an expanded role. Head coach Macdonald saw something unique in the rookie. Rather than asking him to specialize immediately, Macdonald encouraged Emmanwori to learn from multiple position groups. In meetings, he rotated between linebackers, pass rushers, and safeties, absorbing different perspectives on defensive strategy. This approach wasn't just about versatility for its own sake. It allowed Seattle to create mismatches against offenses that rely on predictable alignments to exploit weaknesses. As the season progressed, Seattle began deploying packages where Emmanwori functioned as a big nickel defender, blending coverage responsibilities with physical run support. Against teams with dominant tight ends or versatile running backs, his presence allowed Seattle to maintain speed on the field without sacrificing size. Offensive coordinators struggled to identify his role pre-snap, leading to hesitation and mistakes that Seattle's defense capitalized on. By the time the playoffs arrived, his dual-role experiment had matured into a central element of the defensive identity. Opponents prepared for traditional safety looks only to find Emmanwori blitzing from unexpected angles or rotating into zones that disrupted timing routes. His willingness to embrace every assignment, regardless of complexity, earned the trust of veteran teammates and coaches alike. Super Bowl week intensified the preparation. Film sessions focused on identifying tendencies within New England's offense, particularly their reliance on quick reads designed to neutralize aggressive defenses. Seattle's coaching staff crafted a plan that required Emmanwori to switch roles seamlessly depending on the situation. Sometimes he would play deep to discourage long throws. Other times he would crowd the box to challenge the run. And occasionally he would shadow receivers to erase key options. On game day, the results were undeniable. He finished with 5 total tackles, 4 of them solo, but the stat sheet barely captured his influence. Drives stalled because quarterbacks hesitated, unsure whether he would rush or drop into coverage. Running backs found little room to operate as he consistently set the edge and closed gaps before they could develop. Receivers struggled to create separation against his physical style and disciplined positioning. Seattle's defensive dominance was a collective effort, but Emmanwori's versatility allowed the entire unit to operate with fluidity. Teammates could disguise intentions knowing he could cover multiple assignments. Coaches could call aggressive schemes without worrying about mismatches. Fans watched a rookie play with the composure of a seasoned veteran, executing a complex game plan under the brightest lights. After the championship celebration, Emmanwori reflected on the journey with humility. He credited the coaching staff for recognizing his potential and designing roles that highlighted his strengths. He spoke about trusting the system and embracing challenges rather than resisting them. That mindset, he explained, allowed him to grow quickly and contribute to a defense that thrived on adaptability. The Seahawks' defensive evolution didn't happen overnight. It was built through careful development, strategic planning, and a willingness to experiment. Emmanwori became the symbol of that evolution, embodying a philosophy that values intelligence and versatility as much as raw athleticism. His success encouraged teammates to expand their own skill sets, creating a culture where learning new roles became a badge of honor. One of the most fascinating aspects of his performance was how seamlessly he transitioned between responsibilities without showing hesitation. During one critical third-quarter drive, he lined up as a linebacker, read a play-action fake, dropped into coverage, and forced an incompletion that halted momentum. Later in the same quarter, he blitzed off the edge, pressured the quarterback into an errant throw, and helped secure a turnover that shifted the game's trajectory. Opposing players acknowledged his impact after the game, noting how difficult it was to anticipate Seattle's defensive looks. Offensive linemen described confusion over who was rushing and who was dropping back. Receivers admitted that they struggled to identify coverage assignments because Emmanwori's positioning constantly changed. That uncertainty translated into hesitation, and in the NFL, hesitation often leads to mistakes. Beyond the X's and O's, his performance carried emotional weight. As a rookie on the biggest stage in sports, he demonstrated resilience and composure that inspired teammates. Veterans praised his work ethic and willingness to learn, emphasizing how quickly he earned their respect. Coaches highlighted his preparation, noting that he spent extra hours studying film and refining techniques that would later prove crucial. Seattle's victory wasn't just a championship. It was validation of a long-term vision for defensive innovation. The league has shifted toward offenses that prioritize speed and flexibility, forcing defenses to adapt. Emmanwori's dual role represents a new generation of defenders who can handle diverse responsibilities without compromising performance. His success signals a future where positional labels matter less than overall impact. Fans who watched the Super Bowl witnessed more than a rookie breakout. They saw a glimpse of how defenses might evolve in the coming years. Hybrid players capable of covering receivers, defending the run, and pressuring quarterbacks create unpredictability that traditional schemes struggle to counter. Seattle's willingness to embrace that evolution gave them a competitive edge when it mattered most. As the offseason approaches, questions naturally arise about how the Seahawks will build upon this foundation. Will they continue expanding Emmanwori's responsibilities? How will opposing teams adjust after studying his Super Bowl performance? And perhaps most importantly, can Seattle maintain the element of surprise that made their defense so effective? For Emmanwori, the journey is just beginning. His rookie season ended with a Super Bowl ring and recognition as one of the league's most promising young defenders. Yet he remains focused on improvement, emphasizing that versatility requires constant learning. He has already spoken about refining his instincts, improving communication with teammates, and developing new techniques that will make him even more dangerous. The coaching staff believes his ceiling is far from reached. By continuing to expose him to diverse assignments, they hope to unlock new dimensions within the defense. That approach not only maximizes his potential, but also challenges opposing offenses to prepare for an ever-changing threat. In a league driven by innovation, adaptability becomes a powerful weapon. Looking back on Super Bowl 60, it's clear that Emmanwori's dual role wasn't simply a tactical decision. It was a reflection of trust between player and coach. The willingness to embrace unconventional strategies requires confidence in preparation and execution. Seattle's defense thrived because everyone understood their responsibilities and believed in the system. The emotional impact of his performance resonated beyond statistics. Young fans saw a rookie rise to the occasion under immense pressure. Teammates witnessed a player who embraced every challenge without hesitation. Coaches saw proof that investing in versatility could pay off at the highest level. As discussions about the game continue, analysts have begun dissecting how Seattle's defensive schemes disrupted New England's offense. Many point to Emmanwori's ability to switch roles as a key factor in maintaining unpredictability. By eliminating clear tendencies, Seattle forced the Patriots into uncomfortable situations that limited their play-calling options. The legacy of this performance may extend far beyond a single championship. It has the potential to influence how teams evaluate prospects and develop defensive players. Instead of focusing solely on traditional positions, coaches may prioritize adaptability and football intelligence. Emmanwori's success serves as a case study in how embracing versatility can elevate an entire defense. Even as praise pours in, he remains grounded. Interviews reveal a player who values teamwork and preparation over individual recognition. He consistently credits teammates for executing assignments that allowed him to thrive. That humility reinforces the culture Seattle has cultivated, where success is measured by collective achievement rather than personal accolades. The final whistle of Super Bowl 60 marked the culmination of months of preparation, experimentation, and growth. For Seattle, it confirmed that their defensive philosophy could withstand the highest level of competition. For Emmanwori, it represented the beginning of a legacy defined by adaptability and relentless effort. As fans celebrate the championship, one question lingers. Was this the moment that transformed him from promising rookie into defensive cornerstone? The answer may depend on how he builds upon this foundation in the seasons ahead. What's certain is that his performance has already reshaped expectations for what a rookie defender can accomplish. So now the conversation shifts to you. After watching how he dominated through versatility and discipline, do you believe Seattle should continue expanding his responsibilities, or should they refine his role to preserve longevity? Drop your thoughts below, because the debate around his future is just getting started, and your voice helps shape the conversation that keeps this community alive.